What up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He is the UFC's #3 ranked lightweight contender, fighting Rafael Fiziev in the co-main event of UFC 286 on March 18th. He collects bonuses about as often as Daniel Cormier cheats at golf, basically every time. Justin Gaethje, how's it going, my man?
Yes, sir. 100% of the time.
Will you ever golf with Daniel Cormier again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love golfing with that guy. He's fun. I might not bet him money, but I'll golf with him.
Fair enough. I love that whole video. If you guys haven't checked it out, I'll put a link in the description. But it's like Daniel was there like half to do an interview, and Justin's just trying to play golf.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be taking your mind off the game whenever you're trying to
No,
shoot good shots,
no. And plus, it's your escape from MMA. It's yeah.
right? Yeah.
There you go. One thing on DC. How did the man go so long in life without learning how to shotgun a beer properly?
That was very surprising. He's been to college. I'm not sure what they're doing down there at Oklahoma State, but they definitely were not shotgunning beers correctly.
I mean, he kept saying it the whole time too, as if he knew what it was to shotgun a beer. But
Right? Yeah. It was his idea. I'm
well, I'm
not sure.
glad you guys put him
Honestly,
up on
I don't
game.
even remember how he was gonna do it. I think he was just gonna drink from the top,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was very surprising.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't notice Brett Okamoto. You bailed out of that one, but we'll get him one
Yeah,
day.
you did.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the fight, Justin. Obviously, you're taking on Fiziev, and I know you get asked this question every single time, but I bring it up because I saw in another interview you sort of mentioned how much like you have a strong collegiate wrestling background. Fiziev has a very decorated striking background. So,
Yeah.
what are the chances on a scale of 1 to 10 that we're going to see that first Justin Gaethje takedown in the UFC on Saturday?
I'm gonna say a 6.
Is that significantly higher than you would have said in like past fights?
Probably.
Probably.
I think, yeah, I think it's always something that you should make them think about. So I'll ponder that.
Yeah. Do you think I know you've said in the past that it's almost like your mind or your body won't let you come fight night. Is that something that like you can sort of how do you sort of combat that? How do you make yourself more willing to do it on fight night?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a risk assessment, obviously. It's never, up until I got TKO'd by Eddie Alvarez, and same with Poirier. I thought I was being more successful in that area. So I didn't necessarily find it, necessary to take that shot. Against Khabib and Oliveira, I didn't want to take it to the ground because they've been doing jujitsu their whole life, and I'm
Totally.
a wrestler. Versus Chandler, I used my wrestling to reverse a takedown, and I guess I got a takedown in that fight. You know, he initiated it, but I
Mm.
wound up on top. I think that was one takedown.
Yeah,
Um,
the UFC stat guys aren't giving you credit, so we gotta fix that.
yeah, they don't know what a takedown is. I guess I think it's when you end up on top
Fair enough. Um,
through a grapple.
you sorry?
I said when you end up on top through a grappling situation, that's what
There's a
happened.
takedown. Yeah, that's fair enough. Actually, I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead of my questions because you actually kind of spoke to it. You mentioned the Alvarez and the Poirier losses, and I saw this quote that your coach Trevor Whitman gave, and he said that he asked you after those two losses, "Is your purpose still to be the most exciting fighter in the world?" And according to Trevor, you said, "Not really, coach. I want to be UFC champion." Now that we've had the Oliveira and Khabib fights under our belt, I wanted to ask you again, is the mission statement exactly the same? Has it evolved at all? What is Justin Gaethje's purpose right now?
Yeah, my purpose is to be the best in the world. The most exciting fighter is it wasn't purposely; it was just who I am. It's how I compete.
Mm,
Styles make matchups. I've been really, really lucky to find, training or dance partners that allow me to fight those fights and have those exciting fights. With Chandler, Barboza. Um, but yeah, I mean, the plan is to never get hit again. That'd be ideal. But
boy.
that's just not the game we're playing.
Um, I have one of like the YouTube shorts I put up on my channel that got a lot of traction is Michael Chandler reacting to you saying that your fight between the two of you wasn't exciting. Has that fight grown on you at all? Like, do you look more fondly on it now that some time has settled?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think I was more referring to the third round, you know,
Mm.
with a better third round that could have been an absolute, one of the best ever. But the first two rounds are phenomenal, and the third round's a little bit lacking. That's kind of where I was coming from.
Well, I'm glad you've warmed up to it. At least you've elaborated because it was CBS Sports 2022 Fight of the Year. So well, that's worth it.
Yeah.
We were all
No, I
fans
mean
of it
every
over there.
fight I'm in is fight of the year. It's crazy.
We are now, if I'm not mistaken, on average, you get a post-fight bonus in every fight. I think like one time you didn't, but then you got two in one night. So
I got two in one night two times, and I did not get one against Oliveira and Khabib.
insanity. I mean, never. That's a stretch. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a perfect record, basically.
Yeah, 10. I mean, I got 10 fights and I got 10 bonuses. I think I'm most proud of having nine bonuses in my first seven fights.
Amazing. I like working numbers that way too. You might
Yeah,
as well sort of
it
frame it in
sounds
the
better
money.
to me.
Speaking of how things sound, I always like to sort of get a response to a quote. I was watching the UFC Countdown episode with Fiziev, and dude, bro's a gamer, and so I just wanted to get your response to this quote. I can't wait to go and see him in the cage, smell blood, smell his heart, and eat his heart after.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, to the person that's never done this, it sounds crazy, but we've all been. I was just as willing to say, outlandish things when I was in his position, trying to get the fights that we need, trying to get the attention that he's trying to get through fighting me, trying to pump myself up, for the fights that you have to put yourself up for a fight like this. So I think the language barrier is a factor in
Mm.
that quote, you know, but it's just as intense as it is.
It's a dope quote. It actually kind of parallels nicely to some of your rhetoric going into the fight. You said, that you need to go. You're planning on going into this dark place. Is that sort of just like you said, fight hype, or is it like really somewhere in Justin Gaethje's brain that exists? And if so, could you describe what that dark place is like? How do you get out of that dark place post fight?
Yeah. As each day comes, you get closer to the fight, you go to a darker place. I mean, the chaos that will be my life on Saturday night is
Mm.
the most chaotic situation that you could probably put yourself into. And in order to have confidence and survive in that situation, you have to be content with the outcomes. Um, the reason we're all such big fans of this fight is because anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah.
And if you're not content with that outcome, then it's so scary. So knowing that I have such a supportive and loving family that I can always fall back on, no matter if I win, lose, 100 times in a row, or one way or the other, that brings me the confidence and allows me to go there because they know that I'm giving max effort, and that's all I can expect from myself.
I love that you mentioned family because I think it was you. It was an interview I saw years ago, and it's always really stuck with me. And it's actually had a bit of an impact on some of the questions I asked people. And it was about how selfish of a pursuit fighting is and how you have to sort of give your all to this process. As you get older, I think you're in a relationship right now. Have you been able to sort of find more balance in this crazy fight game and also giving back to the people that support you?
Yeah, I mean, outside of these 2 weeks leading up to a fight, that's who I am. I've said it many times. I went to school, social services, human services
Yeah.
was my degree. I pride myself in whether it's it's not for selfish reasons, but it's somewhat selfish because it makes me feel good when I'm able
Mm.
to inspire people and help people out of certain situations. Um, my girlfriend now has no clue. She's never been to fights. She had never watched fights before she met me. So this will be her. She went to the last fight, but she wasn't necessarily my girlfriend yet. She was just there, and she's like, "Oh, this is fun." But yeah, it's definitely more serious. She's really nervous this time around. But I think my family flies in tomorrow. She flew in today, so they'll kind of get together, and I think they all kind of support each other with that anxiousness that they're feeling, and kind of get each other through that. And then when it's over, I get to show them a smile on my face, get to show them, how much I love them, how much fun I had, and then it kind of brings everybody back down.
I love that. The first and last time I convinced my now fiance to watch a fight with me, Anderson Silva's leg snapped in half. So not
Yeah, that's a tough one to
yeah.
get someone to.
First impression into the fight game.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll make it tough.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this is your first fight since you got the nose surgery, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the vision was at one time an issue for you. How has this nose surgery sort of benefited you in the training and the lead up to this fight with your cardio, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, it feels I feel great. I feel like I'm in incredible shape. Honestly, whether that's just through working harder, which I've always worked my hardest, so I can't imagine that I've worked that much harder than I have in the past. So I think the nose is a huge factor.
And last thing before we wrap up on some stuff away from this fight specifically, you took quite a layoff, especially for someone like you who for them, like most of your career has been like fighting minimum every 6 months, sometimes every
Yeah.
3 4 months. I know that you were in a bicycle accident leading up to the Oliveira fight. You didn't let that sort of bleed into how the fight played out, but a lot to take care of. Your nose. How's the body feeling? How's the mind feeling after getting, about a
Yeah.
year
I mean,
off?
I think that's one thing we have over, sports that's have seasons. When I go through something like that, I'm able to take the time and really recover my mental health and my health overall. And then that in turn gives me the confidence that I'm able to go in there and perform the way that I want to perform. So I think that was a big factor. It's all confidence. So I'm definitely more confident in my ability to see shots, take shots, um, and be perfect.
Perfect. All right, Justin, I want to get you out of here, so let's wrap up on some rapid fire, get to know you a little bit better. First, Justin Gaethje is one of the hardest punchers in MMA, but rank for me the three hardest punchers that you have fought.
I would say Michael Johnson was the fastest. Poirier's up there, and Barboza kicks the hardest.
I like the diversity in that answer. As someone who also has a tough time breathing himself, what is one meal that blew your mind since your nose was fixed?
I would say all the meals. Man, I used to have to taste it to smell it. Now I can anticipate my food. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I once I got my nose fixed, I started having sympathy for my father as a kid telling me I need to wear more deodorant, and I thought he was the crazy one, but sorry to my
Yeah, no, I mean
classmates, my
that's
family.
that's certainly one thing that I realized right away is I hadn't smelled body odor in quite a while.
Most things smell bad, but it's worth the trade-off for the food, I think.
100%.
What is Justin Gaethje's go-to drunk karaoke song?
Oh God, I would say Devil Went Down to Georgia. Charlie Daniel Band.
Which of your training partners which of your training partners parties the hardest?
Training partners parties the hardest. Fuck.
Or is the most fun to party with? I don't want to like frame it in a negative light.
Yeah, I mean, I would say my coach Luke. He used to be in the UFC, but now he's a hoot when he starts drinking. He's a good time. Luke,
And the last one, name me three UFC fighters you'd bring with you into a zombie apocalypse.
if I had to choose, I guess I would pick the biggest ones. I would say John Jones, maybe Kamaru, and I don't know, probably Francis Ngannou.
Can you run faster than at least one of them?
Probably not. So I might be
Okay, well,
screwed.
you might be zombie chow, man,
I
in
mean,
the
I
event that
bet
they need to.
Kamaru. I bet Kamaru that I could beat him in a race. So I think I have a chance.
All right, something to work to with the new nose. Justin, this has been so much fun, man. I want to leave you with the last word, so I'll do my part very quickly. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you're still here, please subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up, let us know in the comments section what is your official prediction for Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Plus, what is your favorite Justin Gaethje fight of all time? We'd love to hear from you. You guys, co-main event UFC 286 in London on March 18th. Justin, if there's anything you want to let the people know, the floor is yours, man.
And not much. Just enjoy the show on Saturday night. I'm gonna do what I do and give you the adrenaline rush you're coming for.